Hello, everybody. Welcome. We're super glad you're here today. I'm Lisa Daly, but you already know that because you're here. And with me are my fabulous co-hosts for today, the wonderful Carrow Brown, the awesome story detective, and the super awesome Michelle Schusterman. So, well, that's a story detective. You're also super awesome. So that should be it. I'll think of a new. I'm super glad you're here today.
Called it.
All right. So anyway, today is the first Wednesday of the month. And before we sort of got off track, we always did a promo stream on the first day of the month when we always have some people who like to write during the promo stream and others who like to actually do the promo stuff we're talking about. Look who popped in. It's Books Cecil Runo. All right. So I'm very excited to see all of you today. Let's go around really fast and do our intros, and then we'll kind of get into it, you guys. All right. So let's start with you, Carol, please.
Hello, my name is Carrow Brown. I'm an urban fantasy author and the owner of Mad Raptor Productions. I actually came here to work on some writing today, but I'm more than happy to contribute to the conversation that we're going to do with marketing. So, yep.
All right. Fantastic. Welcome. Story detective, how about you?
My channel is The Story Detective, and we take all things story-oriented, break it down, and put it under a Sherlockian microscope where we can look at craft in a more base, simple, understanding way and give that to the readers and the viewers, and hopefully your craft journey will be easier. I also do tech reviews, and there's a lot of stuff in the works, but that's something for a later video.
That's good. That's very good. All right. Awesome. And Michelle, tell us a little about you.
All right. I'm Michelle Schusterman. I'm a middle grade and young adult author, and my channel is writing workshops, traditional publishing chat, and vlogs.
Awesome. And Savvy just popped in. Hello, Savvy. How are you today?
Everyone. Good. How are you guys?
We're just doing our intros. Doll, tell us a little about you.
Hello there, I am Books Cecil Runo. I'm an author of sci-fi, thrillers, poetry, and other genres. I'm a happy genre hopper. I have a YouTube channel that needs to get back in the works, and I'm spending more time on Instagram lately. If you want to see all the tips and things that I've been learning lately, you can check me out over there. And some of my stories are available, so you can check it out. You know, I'm a writer. I'm a hermit. I'm an alien. I'm all that.
You are all that. All that, bag of chips. All right. Savvy, tell us about you.
Hey, what's up, my fellow small business supporters? I'm Savvy. I run the YouTube channel called Savvy Writes Books, where I talk about books and business owner stuff. I'm a small business owner that runs the company Forever Home Friends that produces books and plushies based on real rescue dogs and their journeys to adoption. And as of a couple months ago, Chewy, shut up. As of a couple months ago, I am also the host of the podcast Your Morning Guru on my second channel, where we live life like various business gurus and coaches and try to see what we can learn from them. So that's me in a nutshell.
Awesome. Very
Chewy
nice.
just wanted to say, I'm a doggy. I'm one of the plushies.
He wanted to introduce himself too, but he didn't realize he had to come onto the camera.
Well, you know, it's hard. Sometimes, you know, dogs can't reach the camera. Hello, everybody. I'm Lisa Daly. I'm a traditionally published author of nonfiction and romantic comedies. And on my channel, we talk about how to write a book you're super proud of and get it published. We also talk a lot about marketing books, and that is part of what we're going to talk about today for our little topic du jour. This was Robert's brilliant idea, and I think it's a good one. Robert, why don't you give us a little primer, what we're going to talk about today, just a little teeny teaser, and then we're going to say hi to our guests.
Well, as I plan to relaunch my whole social media from the ground up, I'm looking into various types of marketing and getting things straight that I didn't get straight the first time because I wasn't ready to do all that. But now I am, and we're going to talk about finding your ideal client who you should be marketing everything towards in your videos and social media.
That is such an important, thing to do, is to know who you're talking to, what you're what you're trying to actually accomplish. And that really has to dovetail with your ideal reader. Sometimes people think those are different things, but in many ways they need to go together. Okay, you guys, let's say hello to everybody in the chat. Nicole was first. Hello, congratulations. We'll be sending your prize package in the no, I'm kidding. So yay, you. We're super glad to see you today. I know I said it already. Hello, JC. Very nice to see you today. Jeannie's here. StreamYard slow. There you are. Hello. So glad to see you today. Look who's here in the chat. Carol Brown. Yay. We're very happy. So JC wants to know how everybody's doing this morning. Carol, of course.
Oh my God, what a response.
That was the funniest sound I've ever heard out of a dog. I'm pretty sure. I don't even know what end it came out of, but it was pretty hilarious.
It was no, it didn't come from the back end. Okay.
I just, yeah. Was he just giving us a little talk, a little like that?
It wasn't a ooh. That was the sound.
He's like, you're too much over there with your super glad. Stop it.
I think that's it. Woo! So Carol already thinking about lunch. Clearly the dogs are as well. Now I'm thinking about lunch.
We're coming to this stream.
Right, I think that's true. Kat is here. Hello, Kat. We're super glad to see you today. Oh my God, I really do say it a lot. Now I can't stop. Rosalind's here. Hello. We're glad you made it. Claude is back. Hello, Claude. We're glad you're here today. Jeannie is working on coffee. She's got coffee. I think that's a good idea. I have a Coke. I went out into the world today. I have an exciting announcement today. I'm going to get my hair cut in 2 weeks. I thought you'd all like to know. I know. First time in I don't know, 15 months. So yeah, I'm very excited about that. JC says lunch is very important. Snack on something in the meantime. Hello, Eva. We're super glad you're here. Oh my God, I can't stop. All right. Hey, hello, somebody awesome. We know who you are, Amy. All right, Jeannie Marcella. Yes, marketing talk. Very good. So this is something that you always see in marketing books, and it's such a good idea, but it is also something that people feel kind of dorky doing, or they feel like they don't really know how to do it, and it doesn't have to be that complicated. Especially for writers, we should be really, really, at least fiction writers, we should be really good at this, because we already know how to create imaginary people, right?
It's very true.
CO Savvy says, hi, Daily Brown Detective Bat Sith Doll Schusterman. How about only 5 minutes spritz today in honor of Cinco de Mayo?
Hey, that's a good idea.
It is a good idea. Could we get anything done in 5 minutes?
I can get coffee and and I think
I can get a lot done.
No, you can. Carol can.
It takes me 5 minutes to get warmed up. Okay, Nicole, maybe we'll alternate and do 5 minute, 20 minute, 5 minutes. That's not quite the same thing, is it? All right, Nicole just ate lunch, nothing fancy, sandwich and fresh fruit. Jeannie Marcella says, awesome, full house. Georgie's here.
Hi.
How about a 55-minute sprint for 5-5?
Yes.
Suggestion.
We can do it. I'm up for that. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to have to do the math with all of my different timers. Okay. We'll figure it out. Okay. Or maybe we'll have to track down a 55-minute timer.
You could just go to Google and type in 55-minute timer and it will make its own. It's going to look really boring, but at least you'll have it.
But we could still do it. All right. We could do that. Hiya, NKR Tutorials. Welcome. What kind of tutorials do you do? I'm very curious to know. And welcome. I think this is the first time we're seeing you, unless you have a different name. Any of you guys wanting to join a group chat for writers on Instagram?
Which one? There's like a million.
There's
like a million.
I
Yeah.
can never handle Instagram group chats. I've been in one once and it's too overwhelming. Unfortunately, no. Sorry.
It's too much. All right, Savvy, I got a YouTube recommendation based on your channel today. It told me so. I sent a screenshot to you over Instagram. Thanks, Eva. That was really nice.
That's exciting. I don't see the screenshot on Instagram. Is it in the DMs? Unless, or did you send it to the dog account? I'll find it.
Hi, Maya. Well, if you don't, you can. We'll circle back after the break, and
I'll find it.
All right. Maya says hello. Maya, we are very happy you are here today. CO Sav. Well, to be fair, CO, you know, I know you were like getting that right in there. Okay, here she has so many characters anyway. Here's hers: 80s gay and 60 pinup cousin, not a doctor, anti-MLM. All right, so Nicole says, ooh, love today's topic. Snatches and always nearby notebook. Very, very nice. Oh my gosh, you guys. Story D, I did that a little while back. I rebooted my Instagram and YouTube. Still haven't posted much because I'm still figuring some stuff out. Excited for this topic. Yeah. Good job. Very nice. Thank you. That sound lulls. I was like, who's down at the pier? Okay. No, I haven't made any Super Glide merch, but it's coming. Okay. Thank you. I'm very excited. It's so bad, you guys. First of all, my hair is like 17 miles long, but yeah. All right. Steven, we're super glad. Oh, God. We're super glad to see you, Steven. The God was not for you. It was not because of you. It was because I realized the other day that I say super glad.
Super glad. Yeah.
Super glad 9 million times a day. I had no idea. Now I can't stop hearing it or saying it. But I really
okay. We all have our verbal crutch that we like to do.
I know.
It's fine.
I do.
Great. It makes me smile. It makes me laugh.
I'm glad.
It's fun. It's a Lisa thing. There's super nothing glad. Super glad. Yeah, you see.
I'm super glad.
Hi, Stephen. Good to see you.
We are very happy you're here. We are still way away from being to do it still in very tight lockdown. Yeah, I know it's tough. We'll all be like everybody in the household will have had their second backs and will be 2 weeks past. So, but I know there are places all over the world where we're not nearly in the same situation that we are here. And I will say, I'm in Florida, and there are a ton of people here who have not gotten their vaccines. And we're only counting like every other case. So So we're still going to be super cautious. But I got to get my hair cut. Yay, Christy, you're here. Yay. Hi. We're very glad you're here. Oh, my gosh. Rosalind.
Sorry, Rosalind.
So I feel like I missed the first part. In our house, the family can implode in 5 minutes flat.
Oh, when you were talking about can we get anything done in 5 minutes?
Oh, okay. Well, there we go. Thank you for keeping me on track.
I'm here for
21-minute chant, 5 minutes sprints, 5 minutes super glad. Or have 5 sprints total. We'd have to do 5-minute sprints in order to make that happen. Instagram has group chats. Yes, they do. 5 20-minute sprints.
Instagram has group chats?
Yeah. I didn't know that. I'm in a ton of group chats. Sako's here. Sako, I did not send you a thing this morning. There's a whole McDonald's story. I'm glad you're here. I will call you. I'll send you the thing next time. But anyway, I meant to send you a message, but it was a whole thing.
And Sako is also great at marketing.
Sako is great at marketing. Sako is really great at marketing. All right, very nice. Instigate a super glad drinking game. Oh, yeah. Yes, please. Of course, if I participate in the super glad drinking game, I think the super glad numbers are going to go way up just because, the more I say it, exactly.
I think you just want to watch me fall out of my chair.
Yeah, I think that's true. All right. Aw. Okay. Hello.
Hi.
All right. Maya says I would join, but with water. Very nice. Super glad is like the Force. Don't fight it. Embrace it. Oh my God. Speaking of the Force, I actually thought about Robert yesterday because, of course, yesterday was Star Wars Day, right? May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you. Yes.
Exactly. I live in a full-on nerd household, so I know these things. I also know about Pi Day, and you got it. All right, Insta can do group chats now because Facebook combined Insta and Facebook Messenger capability.
Mm-hmm.
Violet, hello. We're glad to see you today. Super glad. Nicole, add that game during the Boozy Planorama. I think that sounds like a plan. We'll just have to write it down in our little book, and we'll make that happen. Okay. CO Savvy says, have to tell you, doll, she loves your new branding on Instagram.
Thank you.
It's awesome. I know you can really tell that you put a lot of effort into it, and I am really impressed. I think you've
lots of planning ahead, lots of looking into what I'm doing, and Aurora Borealis has always been like the thing that I love. And it's present in many of my stories. It sets a mood. It has to do with astronomy. So yeah, I was like,
oh, did we lose her?
No, I'm here. Am I? No?
You were. You just roboted for a second. You're good now.
Okay, yeah. So I just wanted to say thank you, and lots of planning ahead. I have been looking into those planner apps, the free versions, because hello, I'm broke, and I don't have that much money yet. When I get money, I can get a paid plan or whatever. But I'm looking into like, what can I do with a free plan of this app or this one or this one or this one?
Yeah.
And I have to say, guys, after looking into many of them, Planoly is the best.
Oh, okay.
For starting up with a free plan, Planoly is the best because it lets you auto post directly to your Instagram. Like, you don't have to copy and paste and go to your Instagram. And,
I've had good luck with that one too, because Hootsuite always messes up on me. Planoly has always been good for me.
Yeah, preview is great. Preview is great. I'm not gonna give shade to preview because it helped me for a while, but you have to copy and paste and blah blah blah. So preview doesn't not auto post in the free plan. So Planoly is the best.
Yeah, that's kind of the reason to do one of those planners anyway. Laura is here.
Okay.
Hello, we're glad to see you.
Do you have the rainbow shrimp glass? That's all I remember whenever I see your face. I'm sorry. You have like the best wine glass ever.
That's awesome. CO Savvy says Broke Writer is its own niche, doll. Heather's here. Hello, Heather.
Hey, Heather.
So,
hi, Heather.
Maya had a great question, but I think that we should answer it after the break. So, or after the first sprint. So let's get ready to do our first 5-minute warm up, just so we can, be all ready to go once we decide if we're doing a 55-minute sprint, which is possible. We can totally do that if you guys want to do it. All right. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to put this up. We are going to vote. During the 5-minute sprint, I want you guys to say if you want 5-minute sprints or a 55-minute sprint.
I have to put the contingent out there. If we do 5 minutes, then we can only talk for 5 minutes. So it's 5 on, 5 off.
Yeah, because otherwise we'll never get any writing.
We won't get any actual writing.
Get off track talking. Yeah.
Right. I'm terrified of only 5-minute writing sprints because it takes me 4.5 minutes to get rolling. But if this is what the people want, that's what we're here for. So are we going to do a massive big mama jamma 55-minute sprint? Are we going to do regular 20-minute sprints, or are we going to do 5-minute sprints? So you guys vote in the comments, and then we will figure out what we're going to do when we get back. All right. Without any further ado, let us do our 5-minute warm-up sprint so you can get your projects all together, figure out what you want to do today. And when we come back, we are going to talk all about creating a reader or a client avatar. And I think we can see who's excited about that, but you have to wait till after the sprint. Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1. First sprint. Okay, let me get rid of our little clicker. There we go. Fantastic. All right. So we have some votes. Let's go back. Here we go. So Nicole says 55. Here, I need to take a vote here. I need to write down our votes. Okay, so 55 for Nicole. Maya says 5 over 55, but you'd rather have 20s. Sarah says yes on 55s. JC says regular 20s. Eva says 25, 55. I'm going to put that under regular, but I actually like that idea. So there's that. Janie Marcellus says 20s. Laura says 20s. Claude says 20s. Nicole discovered I can hit my daily goal in 45 to 60 minutes. Awesome. Good for you. All right. Violet says 20. 88 ADHD for anything upon 55 minutes. That is a real thing. All right. I'd probably finish in 55, but I can also work during the capstone. Okay, either way. All right. CO Savvy says, okay, hold on. Story Detective says 5 10-minute sprints plus 5-minute warm up, 55 minutes. Oh, okay. 10. You added an extra vote. Okay, then CO Savvy. Just really clever with the timing. True. Violet got 46 words. I guess I should have put this up before I just randomly started talking. There we go. Just so we are. Okay. And add late to the party. That's okay, Hannah, because we're very glad you're here. All right. Heather likes 20 or 25-minute sprints. All right. So we have overwhelming votes for
20.
For 20s. Sorry. Sorry to everybody. Well, I love the creativity, you guys. But 20s it is. The people have spoken. All right. Yeah. Okay, good. So let's talk about our topic today because I'm super excited about this. And there was one question that we had that I wanted to get to before we dig into creating a client avatar or a reader avatar. So Mai had asked, does Instagram branding really help? Many big name authors have no branding and just do random images. If there is a brand, it's writing in books, but no color themes. And then Amy had hopped in. That sentence was just a mess. Sorry about that. Amy hopped in there's a lot to be said for Instagram branding, just as presenting yourself professionally. Viewers, usually your ideal demo and niche, can tell if you're tell that you're taking yourself serious. That goes a long way. Mm-hmm. So I do think that good branding in your Instagram and just across your brand in general is a good idea. And it does have sort of a cumulative effect because if you're branding in the same way, across all of your various channels and properties, if you're always reaching out to the same person, it's going to be a lot more powerful. I mean, there's that old adage that that someone has to see your book or your message 7 times before they remember it. So if your Instagram and your Twitter are disconnected, or if they're not particularly connected to your book, then it's going to be harder for readers to make that connection. And it is true that, like, as marketers, we get sick of our own stuff before other people, right? We're like, oh God, not another thing. Except for me, because my colors are me. I love them. I can just go. but other people I've heard get sick of their stuff. So I don't know. What does everybody else have to say about that? I saw some nodding and shaking. So thoughts, Instagram branding, important or not?
I think the one thing to take into account with that is some kind of consistency with your branding. So you don't always have to talk about your book, but like if you talk about your book like every Monday or something like that, you're still talking about that along with posting with whatever else you want. It's when you are kind of like going all over the place that your viewers will get kind of confused. And then kind of still talking about consistency is making sure that whatever hashtags that you decide to use are in line with whatever it is that you're posting. So like if you're talking about your book, but you don't have the hashtags to talk about your book, like, I mean, Amy can honestly talk about the hashtag map like extensively if she really wanted to. I kind of wish that she was here because this is kind of her bread and butter.
This is her thing. Well, we'll have her back and do another one about, I feel like we should, about hashtags and keywords specifically on social media.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. Maya says, I find as someone who consumes social media, I prefer the various images approach. I find if the images are too similar, my eyes skim it way more easily. That is true. You have to be able to have a cohesiveness, but it also has to be interesting on its own.
Mm-hmm.
Just like if you're writing books in a series, right? They all have to connect to each other, but you can't write the same story 7 times.
There could be a pattern for the book covers, but if the book covers look exactly the same all the time, people will get confused.
Yeah.
So you got a point. Now, about big established authors not having a brand, dude, they are already established. They don't care. They already have a following that they have accumulated before social media marketing was saturated like it is now.
Right. Or they've kind of hit it big, and in order to sort of stay there, they'll need to have, we already know who a lot of those people are, but the people who kind of make it last have some sort of consistent messaging. Even if it's just through their books, they have some sort of consistent messaging. Mm-hmm. All right. So let's talk about that, because so speaking of consistent messaging and marketing, I'm trying to get back to our topic here. Mm-hmm. Speaking of that, let's talk about this idea of having an ideal reader avatar or an ideal customer or client avatar. And this is really common in marketing. This is something like the first thing you try to figure out is like, who are we talking to? Who is our buyer? Who is the person who's going to be most open to what it is we have to say, or our product? And so, I mean, it's really, really step one in everything. And yet it can feel really perplexing to a lot of people. So tell me why, Robert, are you still muted because I muted you? Yes, you are. That was my fault. You're so quiet. Sometimes it's hard to tell. So why did you skip it initially, that step?
I skipped it initially because I had a friend who was into marketing, and not that anything he was saying was wrong, but he was marketing it on a different level, and I didn't feel that it was necessarily for authors or AuthorTube or what we're doing to sell books. It was more like a bigger guru marketing where you're going to have classes, courses, right, and get people with money to support that respects your talent, meaning several $1,000s per client, per course, and what you're giving to them. And I didn't want to do that. That's not part, I think, of marketing a novel. Mm-hmm. In a novel, you don't have to have an expense account to be able to afford a book, so it's under a different category. The thing that I see missing in a lot of marketing, and I think Michelle's video, her last video, proves that when it talks about the people on TikTok who were crying over books and it was getting a lot of attention. What's in that? What's the bottom line? Passion. And I've said it in my marketing video, so many people aren't showing their passion about writing. And if you can show your passion, it works. I mean, we don't know if those crying videos are faked or real or what.
Sure, it's both.
You're marketing a novel, and it's an experience, and it's an emotional experience. Mm-hmm. You have to convey, put your finger on the pulse of what that product is and what you're delivering to your readers. And I think that's essential in coming up with your ideal client, because they're going to be somebody who likes what you like, but it's also going to be somebody who has a little bit of a different book attitude. I don't think you're going to be looking at somebody who's exactly like you, but similar enough and different enough that you're going to broaden your perspective a little bit.
Right. So CO asked a good question. What do you mean by avatar? And what I meant by avatar was that's another term for basically your ideal reader. And the avatar is a person that you create that sort of embodies all those characteristics of your ideal reader. But you think, instead of marketing to people who like rom-coms, you have an avatar. So you have Julie, and she's 30 and she is a college graduate and she works at a job she doesn't particularly love, but she would really like to do something else. She's just not sure what that is. Where does she live? And she goes on vacation with her family. The best time of her life was when she, when she'd go to beach vacations every summer with her family. And so she's sort of looking to get that back. So when you think of an avatar is an imaginary person who's representative of your audience. And one of the things that Robert mentioned when he had suggested that we talk about this topic was my significant other, the horror geek, who did he's a YouTuber, and he did a really extensive viewer avatar when he first started his channel, and he's had really good growth. Like he got to 1,000 I think within like 7 or 8 months, and then now he's knocking on 50K, like it's like a year later. So yeah, and he really and his people repeat, there are catchphrases, and there are they feel all connected, and it's crazy. Here's the weird thing. If you look at his comments, like I not only have seen his comments, but also his avatar, his kind of representative person, and holy crap, if those people have not come to life. Like it is, and it's like one of those, if you build it, they will come sort of thing. So if you're thinking about who is your reader, not just like a general reader, but like what's important to them, what are they trying to get out of your book?
It might go as far as to where they work and what their hobbies are, and make it like such a real character and real person at every level.
Right. Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. Like he talked about how not just things about how old they are, but also like what they love, what embarrasses them, why they would read your book, or why they watch his channel. Like what is it they're getting out of it? But if you think about them as a real person, it's a lot easier to figure out, where do they hang out for fun? Where do they get out? Because that person is going to be somewhat like you, as you mentioned, right? You'll have things in common. But if you feel like you know who they are, then you will be able to know the other places where you might reach them. So that's it.
Nice.
Thoughts, panelists?
I'm quiet because I struggle so hard with this topic.
I was gonna say I struggle with defining this just because I have so many different target audiences, because I juggle so many different projects. So I'm like, I have to define like my target reader for Forever Home Friends, for example. I've done that where there's like a couple different groups of people. It's like, okay, there's the teacher who has students that she wants to engage in more class discussions with, and the students are, I don't know, 5 to 7 years old, and she's been in that kind of job where she wants to use animals to connect with the students. And that's been really helpful because with teachers, I've been able to have a good target audience there. Then there's like the parents that want to teach their kids a little more about social issues, but also care about animal rights and want to connect that kind of emotional thing. And then there's grandparents. So like I have a couple different audiences for that. But then when I'm looking at, my YouTube channel, it's not always necessarily the same audience that's going to cross over, but sometimes it is, because I've noticed that a lot of people who watch my channel are people who have nieces and nephews and like to buy things for them. So that's definitely been an increase in my sales and readership for that. And then when I write like a young adult or new adult novel, my audience on my YouTube channel tends to be somewhat interested in that. Although I have noticed that because my channel focuses so much on supporting small business and analyzing business things and things like that, that when I put out a nonfiction business book, my audience like loved that. They went nuts for that. So that was awesome. But yeah, it's just been like, because I want to continue to do so many different projects, it's been fun to look at what the different audiences are for that. And we actually, so on the podcast channel, we just followed Seth Godin last week. And what we learned from him was this idea of like, you know, it's never like, it's always going to be really hard to find a target audience for a work that already exists. It's always going to be much easier to look at the people that you want to build your community with and figure out what they need the most, and then write something, not necessarily write it doesn't have to be a book, or create something for them that they would like. So it's kind of that balance of like, am I creating just exclusively the thing I want to create, or am I creating something with my target community of people in mind?
Right.
That's what I've been thinking about a lot lately.
I know it's hard. Michelle.
Yeah, I actually kind of have a cheat for this. I don't know if this will help anybody else, but this made it so easy for me when I had this realization. So 2 things. One, for the book I'm writing right now, my avatar, my target audience is me when I was 14 years old. And for my YouTube channel, my avatar is me in 2007 when I was like, I'm going to write a book and try to get it published. Anytime I'm trying to like figure out, like find that kind of North Star, I think back to what I wish I had known back then.
At that age. Yeah, that's a really good way to approach it. And if you're writing fiction, another good way to approach it is, who are the people who are obsessed with your work? Like even if you have like one super fan, you want 19 more of those, and then you want 100 more of those, and then you want 1,000 more of those. Like, who are those people who think you're like, who love your work so much and connect with it so much? And what are they like? What do they like? And you can stalk them a little bit on social media and see like, where are they hanging out? What kind, like, what other kinds of people, you know, are connected with them, and just sort of like get to know them a little bit better.
Yeah.
And Savvy has a point. If you have 2 different types of channels or books, you're going to have to come up with 2 different.
Absolutely. Well, that can be challenging.
I tried to fuse everything together.
Yeah.
Some crossover with that, like the Star Wars stuff and lightsaber and tech reviews and writing. But I know there's a lot of people on AUTHORTUBE that they're Star Wars fans, but when I did a lightsaber review, none of those people watched that review, and I thought,
Yeah. Yeah. It is hard. I mean, so as a person who started off writing dating advice books and then went to writing contemporary romance, I thought, oh, there's going to be a lot of crossover, because demographically there is, right? A lot of people who read romance are single. The women are the same age. So I thought, oh, there'll be a lot of people. But there aren't necessarily. I mean, there's some. You have a little bit in the Venn diagram in that center section, but for the most part, they're not. The people who read dating books are there for the dating advice, and the people who read fiction are there for the fiction. And there's a little crossover, but not very much. So I'm really interested, Savvy, to see where you are with this, like how you feel about marketing to all those different audiences, like in 5 or 10 years. Because if you have a lot of growth in one area or another, it's hard to keep all those up. So I'm excited to see where, like, how you manage this as you progress in your career. Maya had something to say about Rachel Hollis, and I know Savvy always does too. So Maya says, talking about relatable, the Rachel Hollis example is a good one, although she didn't need to be relatable, but when she said it out loud, she lost a lot of credibility and support. Here's the crazy thing. I think that people, like, before she was sort of exposed in a lot of different ways, she, like, in the beginning, I think people did relate to her. I mean, I didn't really know about her much until it was kind of all over for her, but it seemed like people, like other moms, sort of really did connect with that, and then I think she sort of outgrew her audience.
Yeah, something snapped there. Like, I actually watched that TikTok, the one where she like really fucking lost her mind, and it was kind of scary.
Yeah,
dude. Yeah, something. Yeah,
like, you need to seriously go to therapy, and I don't mean that in like a derogatory way. I mean, like, something's wrong.
Yeah,
looked wrong.
Right.
I think we're seeing that a lot too, just in general, with a lot of people who sold business and life coaching things. The pandemic, I think, has caused a lot of issues because there's so many people out there who sold this thing of, you're in control of your life and you can by working hard accomplish anything. And then a pandemic hit and it showed that actually none of us are in control of anything, including
Right.
these people. And they just, everything just fell down then. And so I've seen a lot of that happening, but yeah. And I think that's, I guess to an extent, shows how your target audience can adapt over time. Because if you need to be adaptable to, if the world is going to have completely different circumstances, the type of message that you're selling someone might not be applicable when their life completely shifts. Right.
Well, that's exactly it. You have to stay in touch with your audience. This year is not like they might feel differently in 5 years. They might want different things in 10 years. They're like with the dating stuff, that audience constantly cycles. They think you're a goddess when they're single, and then they hook up with somebody, right? Then they're in a relationship and they get rid of all their dating stuff, and then they break up with that person, and then they're back, and like that's like a constant. I mean, I have people like write to me that were on my mailing list like 10 or 15 years ago, which is crazy. Like not they're crazy. Just it's so fascinating that it's wild that they come back like that. That it's such a big circle. Okay, so yes, Stephen. So I really struggled with it just with 2. This is why I am really fascinated to see how Savvy manages this. That said, I think she has a lot more energy than I do. Okay.
I'm also a genre hopper, and what I struggle with the most is this stupid. It's a very stupid belief that no one will give a crap about whatever I want to write. It's like I am in this mindset that I am so unrelatable that who gives a crap, you know? And I have to break from it, but it's easier said than done when you have so many minority labels put together into one package, and no one out there is like you. It's like,
but everyone is a little like you. Right? So nobody's exactly like you, but nobody's exactly like any of us.
Right. So that's correct.
So if you think of that as like a superpower, that you know what it feels like to be blind, and you know what it feels like to be, all these other groups that you are a part of, that you have not less understanding because there's only one you, but you have greater understanding because you have so many varied experiences and all these other people who maybe would not feel like they connect with anybody else.
Right. But the thing is, I feel like I'm out of place everywhere all the time. It's like, who's your target audience? I'm like, I don't know. I'm a hermit. I don't go out of the house before or after the pandemic. I don't know. It's
there are lots of people like that. There are lots right? Everybody feels like they don't fit in, or they're out like that. Everybody feels like that at some point in their life. And there are tons of people. In fact, I just read a thing about how psychologists are pretty concerned that about 20% of the population who like quarantined during the pandemic is not going to be able to reassimilate back into normal life, that they are so afraid, and it's literally changed their brain chemistry. And that like 20% of people are. So, okay, 20% of people that quarantine, that's a massive number. So whatever, all these things that make you feel like you're alone, there are lots of other people who will connect with you because of those things. They probably won't connect with you on everything, but they'll connect with you on those very human emotions.
Isolation is a major, like a pandemic has nothing to do with this. I've always been isolated since birth. I was born and raised with isolation. That's my theme. That's my motto. That's my norm. So I write about it. My characters feel isolated. My main characters deal with isolation on many different aspects.
And
so
everybody on some level, because
but the problem is that you should not target to everyone. So but
you're not targeting to everyone. You're targeting to people who feel isolated.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who feel alone in a crowd.
I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah, that's who you're. It's that human and that those sort of psychographics are a lot more powerful than like how much income somebody makes or what their zip code is.
Right.
CEO Savvy makes a good point here. Rachel Hollis is a prime example of fake branding. She monetized her life, tried to be too many things to too many people. Rich, thin, and white, relatable. Yikes. Yeah. Yes. Do we really need another rich, thin, white guru? Probably not.
No, she's totally right here.
Probably not. And CEO Savvy has covered this extensively. If you guys should definitely go check it out. Okay, so Maya says, I feel like target audience depends on your end goals too. Are you doing content for pleasure, if it's fun, or is your goal to make an income or even a full-time salary? Yeah, if you're going to be writing books and you want to make a living from it, you definitely need to know who's reading your books.
I have a suggestion for people that
Yeah?
want to take it to that degree that, like Mike did. There is a book on creating characters by Nancy Kress, and I mainly got it because if you're stuck on anything, she has page after page of questions till you're fleshing out like their most intimate habits and every little picky detail about them. So this would be something to go down the list and say, okay, if I'm sitting in a place with a friend, and that friend is somebody who really enjoys the things that I do, and we're hitting it off, and then you go through these questions and start answering it. Have a pretty good profile of your avatar.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, Doll, I want you to see this. Rosalind Kelly says, Doll, you're the person on YouTube I relate to the most.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Thank you.
thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that.
Back in the days when I was growing up in a small town, and you think of, being in the United States, everything is bigger and there's all this, it's not. Outside of major cities, it's nothing but small towns, and all of those small towns are segregated. They are very much a bubble. And since I've lived in this area that I'm living in, I've met a lot of creative people, both young and old, that wanted to do something, either or writing or both. And talking to them is like you hit this wall, and that wall always comes to one thing: they're afraid. They don't know what's out there. They're so isolated that they can't figure out themselves much out in the world, and that lack of knowledge and that isolation prevents them from even trying. Everybody who's watching this video right now is miles ahead of that, because these people won't even get on the internet and think about starting anything.
Great point.
They won't. There's the reason why they can't do it.
Yeah, that is a great point. All right, you guys, we are at 11:52 and we have done one 5-minute sprint. So I think it's time for us to start writing. This is such a good topic, and we will come back to it.
Let's do a sprint.
But let's do a sprint. So who would like to count us down? Oh, shoot.
Down to us.
Doll,
Right.
let's have it. Here we
Let's
go.
do it. Okay, everyone, let's get ready to start writing. Think about that ideal reader that you will find. You will find it. If I can find it, you can find it. We can do this. And just put your fingers on the keyboard, because that reader wants your story, and it wants it ASAP, even if you don't know it yet. So let's just work on our words. 3,
All right.
2, and sprint.
rid of that screen. All right. Very nice. Oh, there we go. Hey, Morgan's here. Hello, Morgan. We're super glad you made it. Allie's here. And I think she's leaving right after that because it's dinner time. So, all right. Well, we're glad you guys made it. Very, very glad to see you. So, how did everybody do on the last sprint?
I did a lot of video editing because I have a big video coming out Friday and it's still 2 hours long. And I don't know if it should be 2 hours long. But I have a lot to do to it over the next day and a half. So
Part 1 and part 2.
Maybe I'll do, but I already have a different part 2 planned for it. That's not part of what I already filmed.
Part 3.
Wow.
Part 3. Make
Part
a documentary.
Yeah, that's hard too. That's a lot to cut out.
It's a really bad self-help book I'm reviewing, guys. Like, it's so
Oh,
bad.
Oh my god.
Oh no. So we were talking about super fans before we left. How do you guys do in the chat as far as writing on the sprints? How did everybody do? Let us know. All right, you guys.
I use the sprint to try to name a couple of things that my ideal reader would be.
Good. Fantastic. Do you want to share? Or not yet?
Yeah, I have some, but this is gonna be fun. One of them is, so I have like 6 major aspects, and then the age that I thought about.
Mm-hmm.
So one of them is people who are who feel isolated.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, those people like reading books, so that's a great start. People interested in psychic phenomenon.
Okay.
People with more than one minority label, but that's optional because it's not necessary. Like if you don't have any minority label and you still like my stuff, great.
Right.
So I'm not discriminating. People interested in different cultures and languages. People who loved the show So Weird when they were growing up. And people who cared about the environment.
That's cool. So
and
you're
age 27 and up.
So yeah, so I think that you're onto something with the, and I don't know that I'd put the age on there. Does it matter? Like, you're really speaking to a human on a human level. I don't know, but it's important to have. I found myself often surprised at the age of my readers. Sometimes they're way younger than I expect, and sometimes they're way older. Like one of my neighbor is like an older lady, and she read a number of my books, and when we first moved in, and she really, really liked Single-Minded, which I would have expected, but she really loved Beauty, which is a young adult book I read. Like I wouldn't even thought she'd read it, so I was really surprised that she liked it. Because it's like a middle grade bordering on young adult, but she really liked it.
Sometimes that can happen with adults reading in younger categories, and sometimes young people read in adult categories. That can happen too. Though I see it less often.
Yeah.
These days, I see that there's so much young adult material that young people just read the young adult books. So it can happen, but I don't see it. That when I go into book hype spaces, what I see is the same: is Six of Crows, Akotar, and the same thing. So I'm like, okay, no, that's not my space. It is like after a while, I start feeling that the young adult crowd is not interested in my books because they already have their own thing to hype about and talk about, and it's very different from writing. So. Yeah. After a while, I feel out of place, and I'm like, no. I need to find my own thing.
That's good though. Find your people. All right. So Laura wrote, I love this. My insides went through the blender, shredding and tearing my essence, pulverized, mixed with unholy additions, mayo, salt, paprika. That sounds like deviled eggs. The hollow of my body refilled with my remade stuff. It sounds exactly like deviled eggs.
Yeah. No, she's talking about writing from the point of view of food. So
I love it. Oh my gosh, I love it. That's awesome.
Laura is a fantastic writer. I like when she shares the snippets of what she's working on. And love it.
I do too. That's awesome. Very nice. Eva says, I hope I never need your nonfiction. I hope you never do either. So that's a weird place to be in, isn't it? Like to hope that people don't need to read your book. Well, I hope they read it the first time. I hope they don't read it. They don't need to read it again. So, all right. Amy says, when thinking of your avatar, you're looking more at a personality, interests, activities than labels. It's hard to explain in comments. That is true, right? All the stuff you said about feeling alone and being interested in foreign cultures, those things are like those things that make us human, that sort of cut across age and income and a bunch of other things.
I know when I think about my ideal reader or my avatar, I actually think about 3 of them. So that way I can make a marketing plan directed at each of those people so I can kind of capture them all a little bit more. Like, you know, my first avatar would be, you know, people in like their late 20s and early 30s who enjoy playing Dungeons and Dragons and watching Star Wars. And I can usually find them in like the local gaming shop, you know, because a lot of the humor in my book is actually kind of geared towards those people. Now, is that my only target audience? No, that's why I have the 2 other avatars. So
yeah, that's good. That's really good. Anybody else have anything to say on this topic before we go to another sprint? I feel guilty because, you know, we did promise the people some sprints and we gabbed for a long time. But if we start now, we could actually squeeze 2 in. All right. Amy says, I think people interested in connecting with people with XYZ quality more than someone who is XYZ quality. Well, that's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. All right, cool. Okay, anybody else? How did you guys do? Did I ask you that question? I don't feel like we went around the block.
We did not go around the block, no. I think we talked on 2 people.
Carol, how did you do in the last sprint?
I wrote 977 words.
Oh my God. Just a few, just a couple. Carol's like, it's been a while since I've been writing. I need to get into the swing of things. I wrote 1 million words on the last sprint. You're my hero. All right. Story Detective, how did you do and what did you do?
I finished 1 chapter and started another, so I don't have the exact word count. It was at least a few hundred words.
That's a win. We're taking that as a win. Michelle, how'd you do?
I think I'm looking at it. I'm trying to figure out where I started. I can't remember. But I used dictation on that sprint, so I think I got about 1,000 words.
Oh my God.
But it's only because I was talking.
Wait, is that why you turned your thing off?
Yes.
Because, okay, I saw that and I thought, like, yeah, anyway, that's funny. Yet I would pay cash money to see you going like.
I like walking circles.
You like walking around.
Really stupid.
That's funny because when I dictate, I'm doing it on. What the heck is this? Hold on, that is a crazy ass hair. Like, whoa. Okay. I like to do it on the treadmill, but here's the funny thing. As you guys may have noticed, I talk a lot with my hands, and I would imagine that when I'm dictating, even though I have not filmed myself doing so, I do the exact same thing. Let's find out on the next sprint. Okay, Doll, what did you do on this? Oh, we already know what you did. We stopped with you. That's why. Oh, and we talked to Savvy. This is why I got sidetracked. I think we all know this happens to me a lot. How did everybody do in the chat? I think we have no answers. Everybody's just fascinated with my hair. No, that's
Laura was actually kind enough to share that snippet, so she definitely got.
She definitely did some stuff, right? Audra, drinking tea and sewing this morning, got the call that my doggo went did surgery. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh,
so sorry. All right, it is a deviled egg. I'm feeling good about that. That is awesome. All right, you guys, let's go ahead and get started with another sprint. Carol, would you like to take us out on this one?
Sure.
You sound so enthusiastic about
I'm trying to think of something witty on the fly at the moment, which normally I'm pretty good about, but not today.
Okay. All right. That's okay. Sometimes we're just not witty on the fly. All right.
It's okay. I'm too busy thinking about my avatar.
Be earnest. Okay.
All right, guys. It's time. It is time to write some words. I wrote 900 in the last sprint. You have to write at least 100. Okay, so focus on just writing those 100 words in the next 20 minutes, and we are going to start in 3, 2, 1, go.
I cannot master time. We're back, Michelle. All right. Hold on just 1 second. Let me get rid of this banner. Okay. So I have no idea if I was looking like a complete dork talking into the camera with no words. And I don't know how many words I got, so I'll have to check at the end. So how did you guys do on this one? Michelle, I'm going to start with you. How did the dictation go?
It went good. I think I got 1,200.
Holy smokes.
Nice.
It's just so fast.
It is. It's really crazy fast, especially like when you're really in the vibe of it. All right. Story detective, how about you? How'd you do?
I got another 300 words, which seems to be my pattern here.
That's good. Very, very good. All right. How about you guys? Chatters, how did you do? Let us know. Carrow, how about you? I'm afraid to know.
795.
Very, very nice. Awesome. Doll, how about you? What did you do?
I had a house chore pending and I had to go and attend that. And after that, I just did a little bit of engagement stuff on social media just to keep people in there.
Okay, good.
Sprints are not good for me to write. I don't do that.
That's true.
I get too much pressure of time is running out, and I'm like, no, I don't work like that.
No, it's okay. All right, Savvy, how about you?
So I started by making a sandwich, and then after I ate my lunch, I got more of my video editing done, and I have now done like the full editing of the first 3.5 minutes. When I say the full editing, I mean like all the effects, all the things cut in, like I've done the rough cut editing of just cutting out like bad things that I don't want in there and dead space for the first almost hour of it. But this one's just gonna take me a while, guys. It's gonna be 2 hours long. I think I just have to resolve that.
That's right. I have no idea.
It's a movie.
It's a movie. It's a
it
movie.
is.
Well, it's the start of a new series I'm doing called Deep Daves, where I'm diving deep into guys named Dave and analyzing different guys named Dave and reviewing their books. Specifically, like business leaders named Dave. I'm doing Dave Hollis, Dave Ramsey.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So, yep.
Sally, you kill me. That's awesome.
So this is our first episode of Deep Daves.
I love it. I love it. Claude into Act 3 with outlining. Yay! Not very detailed, but seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. Yay, Claude! That is awesome. Amy says, "Me too, doll. Sprints are better for productivity, i.e., the to-do list and creative writing." All right. I actually like sprints, but I sort of go back and forth. All right. So you guys, I got like 400 words, despite the fact that in the beginning I felt a little bit self-conscious because I said I was going to dictate without turning off my camera. So I felt like a little weird about it. And then I just got over it. And then the other thing, but the horror geek is like our offices are right next to each other and there's a door between them. And he's like, "Why'd you shut the door?" So I'm okay with broadcast my dumb stuff, but I'm like, I can't write this with him like sitting next to me listening to it, even though he'll read it later. So yeah, there was that. But here's the weird thing about it. So I use Scrivener and I use just like my regular mic with my headset, and I can't hear the music or hear the like the timer ocean waves and dictate at the same time. So I had to keep checking to make sure that that I wasn't going over time. And the last time I looked, there was 2 seconds left, and I was like, "Oh crap!" So there was that. All right. So Stephen got some words on my post-apocalyptic sci-fi. Love that. Laura's got a little thing for us. The beginning of the candy cane one. I was born in the fiery copper pot where my elements melted together. My first word.
Love it.
Coiled onto the unfeeling metal. I was bent in on myself over and over until I'd been contorted 1,000 times. My steaming voice was gone from overuse. Love that. That's good. I have to say,
Nice.
I think of the two, the deviled egg one is my favorite. But I will say I love deviled eggs. So there's that. All right. It's 12:48. I thought we were going to be able to cram in an extra sprint. And I believe the answer to that is no, we are not. We could do like a 5-minute sprint. We could, if we did a 10-minute sprint, we'd have to like come back super quick and say goodbye to everybody. What do you guys want to do? Quick.
It's your show. I'm just a monkey here.
It's my lunch hour. I caught 4 Pokemon for the delivery, fed the husband. Yes. Okay. Speaking of dictations, thanks for talking about dictating in Google Docs. So I'm like, yeah, it's so much. Okay. So she says 2-minute sprint. Can we do 5? Because otherwise it'll take me 5 minutes to pick a thing. Hold on. 5 minutes.
I'm down for 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Hold on. Let me pull up a timer. All right. Here we go. Okay, everybody. We are going to get back to business. We're going to do one. Oops, it's starting without us. Hold on. Let me get that going. Wait a minute. Okay. I want to try again. Here we go. There's our little timer. All right. So we are going to do 5 more minutes. I don't know what is showing up here. There we go. In 3, 2, make it count. 1, sprint. All right. Let's see. Okay, so Carol, Michelle, how did you guys do? Carol, you go first.
195.
Yay!
Nice.
About 250, I think.
Nice. All right. Robert, how'd you do?
I only got about 50 words, but I used the sprint for a bathroom break, so.
That's good.
Also
You weren't writing in there?
I mean, if you were doing, I'm just saying, if you were doing dictation, you could multitask.
Even the bathroom break counts.
That's right. That's right. Oh my gosh, you guys. All right. I held it. I did it. I don't know how many I got though. I have to check. 102. So that's not too bad. Yeah, not too bad. All right, which is probably more than I would have gotten just regular typing. But again, like, I don't know. I think I might, if I'm going to dictate while we do a stream, I think I might have to turn off my camera because I feel like even though I talk to you guys and I'm a dork the whole time, for whatever reason, I feel weird, like talking to myself with people watching.
It's
It is.
weird.
Yeah, it is weird. Okay, so, all right, here we go. Let's see. Claude says another 300 words for Robert, right? Pretty close. He's pretty close. So, Savvy and Doll, what'd you guys do in your 5 minutes?
I continued editing this video. I'm about 5 minutes done with the editing, so I've still got a lot more to go.
Very nice.
Continued brainstorming for my ideal reader and
For you.
looking around on social media to see if I am already connecting with those things that I want to connect with.
Good.
You know?
Very nice. Very nice. Audra, still sewing. I'm on the detail part, so it takes forever to do one thing. I know all about that. Jeannie Marcella getting started in text-to speech. Nice. You'll be shocked at how, like, it's really awkward at first, and then you're like, holy smokes, did I just write 8,000 words in a half an hour? And, and then you'll be like, okay, I think I'm going to give this a try. So, yeah. And it doesn't take very long. I thought for sure with fiction that it would be a lot harder. And it did take me a little time to get over the hump, but not, like, you just cannot believe how the word count. Like, it's really just insane. Okay. Although, oh my gosh, one of the words that I was saying was a gawker, G-A-W-K, gawker, and let's just say that it didn't translate well in text. And I was like, wait, what is that? Not this kind of book.
Not that kind of
Not the kind of, at least not yet. I'm still in the first third. It's not that kind of. Okay. Rosalind says it's okay to talk to yourself. It's even okay to answer yourself. I do that all the time. But if you have to ask yourself to repeat the question, you have a problem. Sure. All right. There we go. Oh, JC got nothing on that one. All right. I'm sorry. I know you wanted a 15, but I know Michelle always has to like bolt out the door right at 1 o'clock.
I do.
So, all right, you guys, let's go around and say goodbye. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here today. You guys are awesome. CO Savvy says your break counts, Robert. Sprint to the bathroom.
There you go.
All right, you guys. Oh, I think I got this one already. All right, fantastic. So let's do our outros really quick before we go. Michelle, let's start with you.
All right, I'm Michelle Schusterman. I'm a young adult and middle grade author, and my channel is Writing Workshops, Traditional Publishing Chat, and Blogs.
Very nice. I think I'm going to go zigzag. Robert, would you like to tell us about you?
Sure. I'm Robert Jones, the story detective, and we break down craft into its components, put it under a Sherlockian microscope, and give it to the viewer so you can improve your craft journey. I also do tech reviews and some other things that are coming.
And I make sandwiches. Fair enough. I have that problem all the time. Doll, tell us a little about you before we go.
Thank you so much for inviting me today. I am Books Cecil Runo. I'm a partially blind own voices author, also known as the Ace from Space. I write primarily sci-fi, as you can tell by my branding, and also write some thriller, horror, poetry, and I'm a genre hopper, and I'm happy about it. I write stories for people who might be portrayed as broken, but no, we are unbroken. We are who we are. So yeah, that's what I do. If you like my stuff, you can follow me on Instagram or Twitter or YouTube or wherever you find the name Doll Cecil Runo. Thank you so much for having me today.
Thank you so much, Carol Brown.
Hi, my name is Kara Brown. I'm very hungry, and all I can think about right now is the shredded beef burrito in my fridge.
Ooh, yum.
Yeah, I came here today to work on writing. I wrote. I consider this successful. Thanks for having me.
Yay.
Thanks for being here. We love you. You guys, I don't know if you have a Chipotle where you live, but I saw something this morning that they're giving away free burritos for Cinco de Mayo. I know.
Oh.
Yeah. So there you go. Savvy, tell us a little about your channel before we go.
Awesome. I'm Savvy. My channel is called Savvy Writes Books, and on my channel I talk about books and business, including talking about being a business owner who produces books, as well as analyzing business self-help books and things like that. This Friday I've got a big new video coming out, and my dog won't shut up. So I'm hosting the writer sleepover stream tonight at 9 p.m. Central, and during that stream I'm probably gonna be packaging up orders for my business. So we'll have a lot of fun together tonight.
Awesome. Oh, she froze, but right at the exact moment she should. Yay! Good job. Thank you very much. I'm Lisa Daly, and I am an author of contemporary romance and nonfiction. And this is my channel, and you guys are awesome. And JC says, thank you for the stream. I love you guys, and have a wonderful day. We love you too. You guys are fantastic. Thank you so much for being here every week, and we'll see you next Wednesday. Bye.
Bye everyone.